This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House and Senate Republicans say they're open to including youth felony records in federal background checks for purchasing guns. Kerry Pickett reports Texas Senator John Cornyn, who's leading Republican negotiations on the issue, said he's looking at closing the juvenile records loophole in the National Instant Criminal Background Check system. That system is used to approve firearm purchases. Juvenile records are already part of a background check to buy guns in 27 states, according to the Giffords Law Center. Those states temporarily prohibit the purchase or possession of a gun by adults that are convicted of certain crimes as juveniles. Lawmakers on the special January 6th committee investigating the riot at the U.S. Capitol say they will connect the dots for viewers in a primetime hearing about Trump administration officials and allies who incited the attack. Dave Boyer and Mika Selner report the hearing at 8 p.m. Thursday will be televised by at least two broadcast networks, CBS and ABC. Other networks have yet to announce their plans. Committee member Jamie Raskin says the panel has a mountain of evidence showing the riot was the result of concerted planning and premeditated activity. An NBC News poll this week showed a drop in the past year among Americans who blame former President Trump for the riot. The survey found that 45% said he's solely or mainly responsible for the riot, compared with 52% who said the same last year. 5 people died and more than 800 were arrested during the attack, orchestrated by Trump supporters. In Maryland, Peter Franchot and Wes Moore share the debate stage outside of Baltimore with 6 of their Democratic rivals in the battle for the party's gubernatorial nomination. Seth McLaughlin reports the two are the leading contenders for the nomination. Franchot, the state's controller, cast himself as the steady and trusted hand in the race, while Moore, an author and television commentator, said being a political outsider will allow him to bring people together to tackle challenges that elected leaders have failed to fix. Other contenders in the race include former Maryland Attorney General Doug Gansler, former Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker, and former Democratic National Committee Chairman Tom Perez. A Baltimore Sun University of Baltimore poll released this week showed Franchot leading the field with 20% of the vote, followed by Moore with 15%, and Perez with 12%. The primary election in Maryland is on July 19th. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page, and you can find our entire roster of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is leading opponents by double digits in his bid for a second term as governor, according to recent polls, and he's also considered a top contender for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. Susan Ferricchio reports DeSantis has rejected suggestions that he's plotting a run for the White House. Still, he promotes his agenda and frequently attacks President Biden as though he is running for president, not for a second term as governor. DeSantis also prevailed over former President Trump in a straw poll of Republican contenders over the weekend at the Western Conservative Summit in Colorado. And finally, Pentagon officials say the risk that tension between the United States and China could one day turn into a military clash in the Pacific has expanded the need for more advanced sea-based weapons. As China invests into building a military capable of squaring off against American forces, Ben Wolfgang reports U.S. defense sector leaders are crafting capabilities that would give the Pentagon an edge. Some of the most advanced tools include those that will be integrated into camera imaging systems aboard various warfighting vehicles. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.